Jai Shri Narayan. Jai Shri Narayan. Jai Shri Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to the Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Narayan. I welcome all of you to the Sri Narayan Dham physically in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those who are watching this discourse on live feed locally, nationally and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted in the various groups from around the world subsequently. Notice that I'm not well today because I had my second attack on Friday. The first one was last year. And my work is almost complete. When the Guru's life is always in the hands of Lord Narayan. And the Guru, the Vaishnava Guru in the Sri Sampradaya, comes down, he does what he has to do, and when it's time, we all have to rally up. And this is the reason I've been pushing the agenda. I've been asking those of you that's around to please take everything seriously. And I told you all I'm going overseas. I tell you all or not? So you'll need to take seriously all what I say and all the advice that I give you. And you have to make the Guru's life peaceful, so that the Guru can continue and complete his mission in peace. The Guru is not here only for you, and the Guru is not here only for this time frame. The Guru principle is eternal. The knowledge that the Guru leaves behind is also eternal. And you yourself, you are also eternal. So those of you that have had the opportunity to be with me in this lifetime, I may not be here tomorrow. So please, whatever I give you, take it with both hands, use it. It is not for you. It is not for me, it's for you. Right? But as long as the Guru is around, illness belongs to the body, it does not belong to the Guru. For the Guru is not the body. The car is packing up, the soul lives on. And as long as the soul is in this body and the car is not totally packed up, the Guru will continue in the same resilience or even more to do his work. So I've made this announcement so that I can get cooperation from you that this work do not be hindered unnecessarily. However, you are welcome to continue your consultations and do not feel that the consultation is too petty to worry the Guru in his illness. Because for the Guru, nothing is petty. Everything is love. Guru exists in the substratum of love. Guru has no enemies, and Guru does not hate anyone. Hatred and enemies are words that do not exist in the dictionary or language of the Guru. So things must go on as normal. I know Mataji got very emotional and I was too ill to stop her when she gave certain instructions, but I'm overriding those instructions and everyone will have any access to me up until my last breath. So nothing is petty, but we have to do it in a coordinated manner. Alright? Coming back, so a few series of discourses will be based on questions that my son Sean had asked. And the second question that he asked me is the significance of a Hindu wedding. And all the pomp, all the glory, the various rituals that takes place in a Hindu wedding. So last week Sunday, Sean walked from darkness to light, and all of a sudden a lot of questions are popping up in his head, because when you see the light, it means you saw the truth. When you see the light, it means you saw the truth. A few years ago, just before his wedding, I was explaining to him the significance of a Hindu wedding. And whilst he was running around getting prepared for that big glorious occasion at Kendra Hall, I was telling him, Sean, my son, download the 7 vows. By heart the 7 vows. That is the most important significance in the wedding, and not the decor, and not the name of the hall, not the name of the DJ. The DJ is still scratching somewhere. Now they scratch the record. And not pyrotechnics. Pyrotechnics are fake fireworks, John. They are fake fireworks, alright? So 3 years down the line, I think a little bit more, Sean is asking that when I sat on that stage, I was so overwhelmed. We had a full house, the decor was so beautiful. You and Mummy were looking absolutely handsome and pretty. I don't understand what the priest did and what is the significance for all what he did. I was so overwhelmed of being married Can you explain why I sat there in that havan? Anyone can answer, Swami. Can anyone answer why Sean sat in that havan? What was the significance of the wedding stool? What is the significance of a havan? What is the significance of having a priest? Rita? You all had all that in y'all's wedding, Rita? Or did you all have a sail and bamboo and it rained the night before and your uncles and aunties took a pole and moved the bamboo water over? Who knows about the bamboo story? What was more beautiful than putting a small child underneath and tell them, stand there and look that side, and drench them with water? How beautiful it was. Unfortunately, now we got pyrotechnics. Right? Where's my memory is going, Sita? Memory is going. Find the 7 vows. Salen is smiling. Salen, how many of the 7 vows did you keep in the past 20 years? Salen, all the vows were not yours. That is why you have mixed up your marriage. Some belong to your wife. You became the wife and husband in one, Salen. That is why there's no hair on your head. Have you found it, Sita? Dana, what are the 7 vows? From this day onwards, I shall be imprisoned. Dana, one vow you repeated 7 times. Dana, one vow you repeated 7 times. Okay? And while she is finding it, if she can't find it, Vishwadhar, ask Vishwadhar to send it on one of our WhatsApp groups. Alright? If she can't find it, whilst we are waiting for the 7 vows, you go have it. Okay? I just don't want to miss saying this. Dana is waiting for the Guru to leave. Alright. He said he's been practicing with the umbrella for the past year now. He's been holding the umbrella like this. All you have to do with the umbrella is just hold it like this. Alright. You ready, Benita Bene? We're going to do it one at a time.
In this ritual, the couple exchange vows of love, duty, respect, faithfulness, and a fruitful union where they agree to be companions forever. These vows are recited in Sanskrit. Let's delve deeper into the 7 vows of the Hindu marriage and understand the meaning of these Hindu wedding vows in English.
That's what normally happens, Vanita Beni. Somehow after the wedding, the vows disappear.
It's called Sakpere, isn't it? So the first Sakpere means 7 steps. Here are the exuberant citizens following equally prolific customs, and the marriage is pretty extravagant in nature, full of pomp and grandeur. Without any doubt, Hindu marriages will top the said list of flamboyancy, but the 7 vows of Hindu marriage taken before Agni or fire are considered the most sacred and unbreakable in Hindu books of law and customs. As mentioned earlier, Hindu marriage is a sacred and elaborate ceremony involving many significant rituals and rites which extend over several days. But the sacred 7 vows which are performed on the day of the marriage itself are indispensable to the Hindu marriage. In fact, a Hindu wedding is incomplete without the Saptapati vows. Sapta is 7 vows. In fact, let's have a better understanding of these Hindu vows. 7 vows in Hindu marriage. A Hindu marriage vows are not much different from the marriage or oath taken by brides and grooms before Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in Christian weddings. Also, the traditional wedding vows are different religions. The would-be husbands and wives are expected to recite the 7 vows while taking the 7 rounds or peras around the holy fire or Agni. The priest explains the meaning of each pledge to the young couple and encourages them to adopt these marriage vows in their life once they unite as a couple. The 7 vows of the Hindu marriage are known as the Saptapati, and they are contained in all elements and practices of marriage. They consist of promises which the bride and groom make to each other in the presence of a priest while circling around the sacred flame or honor the fire god Agni. These traditional Hindu vows are nothing but marriage promises made by the couple to one another. Such vows are promises from an unseen bond between the couple as they speak the promising words for a happy and prosperous life together. What are the 7 vows of Hindu marriage? The 7 vows of Hindu marriage encapsulate marriage as a symbol of purity and the union of 2 separate people as well as a community and culture. In this ritual, the couple exchange vows of love, duty, respect, faithfulness, and a fruitful union where they agree to become companions forever. These vows are recited in Sanskrit. Okay, Guru, so must I explain the 6 vows? Okay, the first round, the marriage vow, is promise made by the husband and wife to his or her spouse to stay and go to pilgrimage together as a couple. They express a gratitude.
Okay, let's stop there. It's 1.
The tirat, the pilgrimage.
Okay. Did you finish 1?
Yes, Guru.
Read it again.
The first pera or marriage vow is a promise made by the husband and wife to his or her spouse to stay and go to pilgrimage together as a couple. They express their gratitude towards the Holy Spirit for the abundance of food, water, and other nourishment, and pray for strength to live together, respect one another, and care for each other.
What does pilgrimage mean?
Visit the holy places.
Sorry?
Visit the holy places.
Holy in the sense of being in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead together. 2, vow number 1, husband and wife connect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pilgrimage means going to places of worship. Going to places of worship together. We want to bring in this point. Together means together. 2 people. Because who took this vow? 2 people. Wedding means what? Marriage. What ties the husband and wife in marriage in Sanatana Dharma? Vanita Beni, just because you're reading this, for no other reason, I'm asking you the question. Okay, original reader in this was supposed to have been Sita, alright? But Sita is so depressed that the Guru is about to leave without, she brought a special diet for the Guru. He has not had a diet yet and he wants to leave, so she is upset that I might not complete having the diet that she has brought. Alright? What is the essence of marriage in Sanatana Dharma? Let's understand that. What is the essence of marriage in Sanatana Dharma?
To uphold the spiritual practice together.
Chris? One day Chris is going to be teaching all of them. Yes, it is. He started building his church in Malawi. His Sri Narayan Dham in Malawi is a better building than ours. He got arch windows. We got square windows. Isn't Chris? Sri Narayan Dham is started in Malawi? Yes. What is the essence of marriage in Sanatana Dharma? You just read one essence, is the 7 vows. If these 7 vows are not practiced, then you are not married, because these 7 vows rope you into a circle called marriage. Who took these vows? These vows are binding. It's not like a court case. When you go to court, you put your hand up, and whether you're a criminal, whether you're telling a lie, whether you're a murderer, robber, rapist, fraud, you put up your hand and you say, my judge, I will say the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And you go there and you say a whole lot of lies. This is not that kind of vow. This vow is a living vow. It is a living vow. It is an essence. Essence means it is continuously alive. Continuously alive. This is vow number 1. The first rope. You have 7 ropes that bind you in marriage. The first rope is the most important rope. It is stated that this term called marriage, this strand, there are 7 strands in the knot of marriage. The very first strand in the knot of marriage is that we bind ourselves up together to go to places of pilgrimage, meaning we will go to places, bona fide places, where Lord Narayan and Mother Lakshmi is worshipped as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His consort. And I'm going to qualify this later. Number 2.
Okay, period number 2. The second period in the sacred vow entails equal respect for both the parents. Also, the couple prays
Hold it. Rewind.
equal respect for both parents.
Okay.
That's what they vow. And also the couple prays for physical and mental strength, for spiritual powers, and to lead a healthy and peaceful life.
So the second strand in the rope of 7 strands, that is the essence. That is the essence of a Hindu marriage, is both the couples must love equally their parents and their spouse's parents. It is a Vedic injunction. If you do not love your spouse's parents, that strand is missing in your marriage. If you do not go with your husband to a place of worship where Lord Narayan and Mother Lakshmi is worshipped, that strand of marriage does not exist. The second part of 2.
The second part of 2. The couple prays for physical and mental strength, for spiritual powers, and to lead a healthy and peaceful life.
What powers? What? From where do you get spiritual power? No, from a guru. You get spiritual power through the grace of a guru. So, the second part of your vow tells you, the first part say go to a place of pilgrimage, the second part say have equal respect for both parents equally. And to become spiritual means you are on a course to self-realization. Spiritual means self-realization. In order to complete the cause of self-realization, you have to get a guru, and that is a Vedic injunction. Right? So, recapping, you must go to a place of pilgrimage with your husband. You must respect. Husband must respect wife's parents, wife must respect husband's parents. This is a Vedic injunction. This is the ingredient called marriage. This is the ingredient called marriage. And in part 2, you must surrender to a bona fide spiritual master so that you can start at marriage. You must start your cause of self-realization if you have not started before. And self-realization, to go on a cause of self-realization, no drinking, no smoking, no gambling, no eating meat, and no illicit sex. These 4 things you have to leave to go on a spiritual path if you are a Hindu and you are getting married according to Hindu rites in the presence of God. And I will explain as we move along. Alright? So, when you get married, you have to become a vegetarian, you have to leave drinking, you have to leave smoking, you have to comply to all of these things. You have to leave hatred, you have to leave anger, you have to leave jealousy. All these negative qualities you have to take and remove on your onward path to self-realization, because the vow you are taking is that you must become spiritual and get spiritual power. Spiritual power you only get through a Guru Parampara in a Sampradaya. A Guru Parampara in a Sampradaya. Okay, let's go to 3.
The daughter requests the Guru to promise her that he will follow her willingly to all the 3 stages of life. Also, the couple prays to God Almighty to increase their wealth by righteous means and proper use, and for the fulfillment of spiritual obligations. That's period number 3.
That's 3. Read the first part.
The daughter requests the groom to promise her that he will follow her willingly to all the 3 stages of life.
Right.
Also, the couple prays to God Almighty to increase their wealth by righteous means and proper use, and for the fulfillment of spiritual obligations.
Again now, what was the last word?
Spiritual obligation.
What does spiritual mean?
Righteous living.
Surrender to Guru. Spiritual, anytime you may see spiritual, it means you must surrender to Guru. If it means ritual, then you surrender to a priest or pandit. But when it says spiritual, you surrender to Guru. Surrender to Guru. See how many times it's coming in your wedding vows? Surrender to Guru. Number 4.
The 4th peri is one of the important 7 promises in Hindu marriage. It brings home the realization that the couple, prior to this auspicious event, was free and completely ignorant of family anxiety and responsibility. But things have changed since then. Now they have to shoulder the responsibility of fulfilling family needs in the future. Also, the Pere asks the couple to acquire knowledge, happiness and harmony by mutual love and trust, and long, joyous life together.
Can you see how these 7 vows are building up? Can you see the foundation? From vow 1 to vow 4. Throughout these vows, the first 3 vows, the substratum is spirituality, Lord Narayan, Mother Lakshmi, and a Guru. Can you see the first 3 vows revolves around Lord Narayan, Mother Lakshmi, a bona fide spiritual master from the Sri Sampradaya. Because only the Sri Sampradaya at this point in time, in this Kali Yuga of this date, what's the date today? 3rd November 2019, is expounding that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The other 3 Sampradayas were supposed to be doing that, they have diverted. So at this point in time, wedding vows, Guru, Sri Sampradaya. Can you see my transcriber, when I'll talk to him later, he'll say, Acharyaji, you've done it again. Nobody in the world has taken a wedding vow and put it in the Sri Sampradaya. Things are lining up. This is what my disciple says, Acharyaji, things are lining up. Okay? I'm saying it before he even transcribes it. Okay? Vow 5.
Here the bride asks for cooperation in taking care of household chores, invest his valuable time to the marriage and his wife. They seek the blessing of a Holy Spirit for strong, virtuous and heroic children.
Okay. If 1, 2 and 3 is complied with, then you can take these further vows to fit in with vow 1, 2 and 3. And the last one?
This period is highly significant amongst the 7 vows of Hindu marriages. It stands for bountiful seasons all over the world and for self-restraint and longevity. Here, the bride demands respect from her husband, especially in front of family, friends and others. Further, she expects her husband to stay clear of gambling and other kinds of mischief.
That's finished.
And the seventh one, this vow asks the pair to be true companions and continue as lifelong partners with understanding, loyalty, and unity, not only for themselves, but also for the peace of the universe. Here, the bride asks the groom to respect her, just like he respects his mother, and avoid indulging in any adulterous relationships outside the marriage.
7 finish.
Yes, please.
Can you see what I am explaining a Hindu marriage should be? How many of you were present in Sean's wedding? How many? Quite a few of you. Alright? And I want to discuss Sean's wedding because he asked me the question. So we want to discuss his wedding now. Sean, you asked me a question. Did the priest make you aware of these 7 vows in English? You understood it? Okay. Then, whilst I'm at Sean, I want to go to me. I also got married. I had to get married before Sean, for Sean to be born and get married. And I also did not hear what the priest said. How many of you heard the song African Queen? I want you all to go home and play it 1,000 times. Like how we listen to the Vishnu Sahasranama. Alright? Because that song was playing in my head when I was getting married. Because the previous night, all the policemen came home and we had a huge party at home. And that song just came out and they had it on repeat. You all remember the song African Queen? So sleepless night, a premarital function with policemen. Can you all imagine? Can you all imagine? And in South Africa, black policemen, who are majority. Vegetable pickle. How many of you know what's vegetable pickle? You all know what vegetable pickle? My poor African friends, I was so excited. I'm getting married tomorrow to Mataji, that I didn't explain to them this is a pickle. They ate it as curry. And they wanted more of the same curry. Alright? And then I go there, and the Hawan smoke, and the previous night, and the song African Queen ringing in my head. That if the video is still around, then you'll see that when I was throwing water on myself, as requested by the priest, I knocked my turban off. Alright? In my mind I was saying, how much longer? As the swahas were happening. Marriage only lasted for 13 years. How long? Because I was an atheist. I did not respect the marriage vows. After 2 years of our marriage, there was no compatibility. And after 13 years, we got divorced. And we lived for 10 years apart. And the reason of this divorce is that the 7 strands that bind a marriage was invisible to both of us. That was one reason. The second reason was that Sarita's mother was a very dominating person. things had to be her way or no one's way. And that is why my two children have English names. Because I made sure all the names she chose for my children, I didn't give her the privilege of enjoying it. Because these are my children. In a Hindu custom, when you marry a daughter, your daughter must follow the husband's tradition 100%, and I'm going to come to that. As long as Sarita's mother was in control of this marriage never worked out. She's still alive. You all saw her bowing to my feet 1,000 times, isn't it? But she had somehow, at that point in time, convinced herself and her daughter that this man you married was not worth it. And she was the boss of bosses. Today she's languishing in one of the homes. Her children are multi-millionaires. She's in her late 80s or early 80s. Nobody took care of her. I'm saying this with love for those that's listening. When you have daughters, and I'm talking, this is a great mess up in Sanatana Dharma, and I am a part of this mess myself, and my children are a part of this mess, and my grandchildren are a part of this mess. So I'm saying from my own experience. I'm not sitting at a esteemed seat and I'm pointing fingers. I'm saying that I myself, I didn't even know there were 7 vows. Honestly, I just thought it's a havan. I just thought it's a havan. You tie a knot and you tow your wife across. And you tow her for life, you know. I thought that was the significance. And the wife will willingly be towed. I didn't know there were other people from outside who will try and cut the knot and not allow the obedience of the wife to be towed in accordance with the Vedic injunctions. Dhana, so the other way around, Dhana has been told, he's 67 years old today. Even if I put him in the front, been taught so long, he'll move backwards. Okay? So this marriage between Mataji and I was not in essence a marriage up until the day she courageously stood up and rejected her family. From the day she rejected the dominance of her family, I miraculously came back. And when I came back, we started respecting the vows. And this is the vow. These 7 vows, she and I met Guruji. Vow number 1, we met Guruji, we became spiritual. 13 plus 10 is 23 years later after the marriage. 23 years after the marriage, we found a spiritual master. We found the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She started following her husband. she started following the regulative principles of her husband. I found Guruji. Who found Guruji? I found Guruji, and she followed 100%. And I was in a meeting yesterday, and I stated in that meeting that Sarita and I left a business worth 40,000 rand a day to follow the instructions of our spiritual master. And this is an absolute truth. Look at us. When these three fundamentals, these three strands of this great rope called marriage was not there, there was no marriage. In essence. And as soon as we picked up on the first three strands, the other four fell into place. Other four fell into place. So what is Kanyadan? That's what Sean wanted to know. He said, Daddy, why did my wife's father take my wife's hand and put it in my hand? And this is the answer. At the point when the father of a bride takes the hand and puts the hand in the hand of the groom, it is the most emotional part in a Hindu wedding. For it is at this point in time that the father who brought up this beautiful child gives away his daughter to the groom. And he says, this daughter now belongs to you. At this point in time, she relinquishes every authority that has come from my family and my upbringing. Her dharmic law that she used up until this point is now rescinded, obliterated. Not even one atom of her dharma exists. Now she will follow your dharma. Now she will follow your dharma 100%. I, as the father, and my family has no influence dharmically in your life anymore. At that point, the bride and groom are asked to imagine that the groom is Lord Narayan and the bride is Mother Lakshmi. Groom is Lord Narayan, bride is Mother Lakshmi. This is in the Manu Smriti, and the Manu Smriti is a set of laws on how human must live in a society on this earth. This Kanyadan and the 7 vows is in the Manu Smriti. This is a Vedic injunction. Lord Narayan and Mother Lakshmi is present at this wedding. Lord Narayan, Mother Lakshmi is present at this wedding, And when Kanyadhan is done, in fact throughout the whole wedding, the bride should represent Mother Lakshmi and the groom should represent Lord Narayan. These two absolutes and the vows taken in this absolute system binds an absolute knot called marriage, which have to be lived, and practiced from morning to night until the end of life. So in a Hindu wedding, in Sanatana Dharma, you must find a bona fide spiritual master in the Sri Sampradaya. And the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Narayan, must be endorsed. His consort, Mother Lakshmi, must be endorsed. I don't know why, if you go to Hindu weddings, you'll find Lord Ganesha all over Hindu weddings and Hindu cards. I don't know, Vanita, if you got Lord Ganesha on your card. But Lord Ganesha has become the symbol of a Hindu wedding. Yet the vows are dedicated to Lord Narayan. And there is a Vedic injunction that you cannot take a Devi or Devta and place them on the equal pedestal as Lord Narayan. It's a Vedic injunction. So these things are not known to the Hindus. And at Sean's wedding, my instruction, turn around, see that Sampradaya. My instruction was that Sampradaya must be in the middle. Must be where? In the middle, and the wedding must take place. That must be the epicenter of Sean's wedding. But unfortunately, when I got to the hall, it was taken and put one side. Or fortunately, I don't know. Time will tell. But when you refuse to follow a bona fide spiritual master, God will have no mercy, because God has sent able spiritual masters on this earth to reconnect you to your absolute truth. Are there any questions? Any questions? Sita, you're still thinking about the dietary plan you brought for me, brown bread, whole wheat bread. And Kavita also brought a whole lot of diet plans. I don't know, my doctor filming me here in the front, what she has in store for me. I think with all these plans, that maybe couple hours Lord Narayan has for me, I'll be gone before then. Eating all this food, how this poor heart will be able to manage pumping. Are there any questions? Any questions? So look at the significance of my marriage and Mataji's marriage. When we got married, no Lord Narayan, no Mother Lakshmi, not listening to the 7 vows, and interference by her family. Interference by her entire family interfered beside the dad, headed by her mother. Okay? And look, when she cut off the interference. After 23 years, I came back. On the 24th year, we met Guruji. Today, Guruji and Lord Narayan gave us the Sri Narayan Dham. And Sarita and I, Mataji and I, is the first in Kali Yuga, in this 28 Kali Yuga, to spread the name of Lord Narayan as the Supreme Personality of Godhead around the world. Do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. Do what Mataji and I did. And she continues to do. Her heart is in this ashram dana. She might say things in a different tone or in a different accent because she's not a guru. She's a stressed wife of a guru. And her stress is that she don't have 20 children. She don't have 2 children. She has 20 to 30 children. Okay? So I'm saying this, and I'm saying this in this public discourse, that if you feel Mataji has offended you in any way, nothing is direct. Nothing is direct, because she gave up this luxury life of 40,000 rand a day. In fact, Sean, Mataji and myself took an oath at Swami Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj's Samadhi place, where his ashes is and where his bed is. And this was the oath amongst the many oaths that we took. Firstly, I was asked, if Mataji leaves you, will you continue with this mission? And I said yes. Mataji was asked, if Acharyaji leaves you, will you continue with this mission? She said yes. And Sean was asked, when you get married, if your wife leaves you, will you continue with this mission? And Sean said yes. And we are the 3 founders of the Sri Narayan Dham. And on this note, I want to welcome Sean as a fully fledged disciple of Swami Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. From this point onward, he has re-established his initiation through my grace, sitting on this chair, notwithstanding all that has taken place, and he has taken his rightful place as one of the 3 founders as per our constitution of the Acharya Sham Ramanuj Foundation, and he is going to be performing all his functions at this ashram prior to his sudden disappearance on the 6th of November some years ago. Alright? It's a perfect circle. Alright? It's a perfect circle. And the Guru has to verify his discourse as per Vedic injunction. So I'm going to do a reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6. Canto 6, Chapter 19, Text 16. Thereafter, with devotion and humility, one should offer prayers to the Lord and Mother Lakshmi. Then one should smell the remnants of food offered and then again worship the Lord and Lakshmi Ji. Text, that was text 16. Text 17, Canto 6, Chapter 19. Accepting her husband as the representative of the Supreme Person, a wife should worship him with unalloyed devotion by offering him prasada. The husband, being very pleased with his wife, should engage himself in the affairs of his family. It is a Vedic injunction that in a marriage, the wife is Mother Lakshmi and the husband should be treated as Lord Narayan. Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th Canto. Okay, you can see I've been really sick. Normally I don't take so long finding my kana injunctions, alright? So in Canto 12, Chapter 3, Text 37, it is stated, in Kali Yuga, men will be wretched and controlled by women. They will reject their fathers, brothers, other relatives and friends and will instead associate with the sisters and brothers of their wives. Thus, the conception of friendship will be based exclusively on sexual ties. You understand? And this is the greatest betrayal of sons in Sanatana Dharma. This is the biggest and the greatest betrayal of sons in Sanatana Dharma that's being practiced today. Because instead of having spiritual ties in terms of the first 3 vows of the wedding, followed by the other 4 vows on the wedding, they think marriage is sexual ties. And instead of living with the parents and continuing the dharma of Sanatana Dharma, the sons get dissipated from their own religion and they get confused and they follow the religion of the wife, the parents, their sisters and everyone. And then they say Sanatana Dharma is not working. Sanatana Dharma is the only absolute system in this universe. You are not working. Who? You are not working. And my 2 camera girls, please get married and go live with your husband, become vegetarians, find a guru and practice Sanatana Dharma with your husbands. And from this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 17, and this is Lord Shri Krishna. He who rejoices not, no hates, no grieves, no desires, who renounces good and evil, who is in full devotion to me, dear to me, is such a devotee. Have you all heard? I'm going to read it one more time. He who rejoices not, no hates, no grieves, no desires, who renounces good and evil, who is full of devotion to me, dear to me, is such a devotee. So if you want God to love you, you must be neutral of all qualities. You must be neutral of all qualities. So when you're getting married, if one side is more spiritually understanding than the other side, then the other side has to come into focus so that you have a compatible wedding. You don't have to go and see book. You don't have to go and see book and see if these people will make it in a marriage. What the hell can that book tell you? Don't run and open book. That book you opening can't help you. Learn the 7 vows and follow the instructions of the 7 vows. That book is the Manu Smriti. That book, when you learn it and you learn the 7 vows, that will be a compatible marriage. Remember, Mataji and I, after 23 years, we are in a supremely compatible marriage because we didn't go and open any other books. We opened the Manu Smriti, we found the 7 vows, we found our Guru, we did our pilgrimage, we have Lord Narayan, and she is the Lakshmi of this ashram, and I represent Lord Narayan of this ashram, and we are prosperous. This is not a NGO yet. So this is not a public ashram. 70% of this ashram is her sweat and my sweat. Without opening book. Alright? Jai Shriman Narayan.